Okay, so as we said, the hip movement in terms of what we're trying to achieve is better. You're just doing it now straight away. So there's not really much shift onto that right side. So you're doing it a little bit too aggressively, a bit too much. So obviously, when the more that knee will bend, yeah, you'll get to a point when you start going back to golf ball. Now, more so probably longer clubs. This is like an 8 irons. It wasn't so bad. As you start getting too much on this left side, the leg's going to extend up and straighten. If it pops up too much, there's going to be a good chance you're going to get some funky strikes, should we say. So toe ends, tops, whatever it may be, okay? So what you've got to try and fit in terms of the movement now is a little bit of kind of that there with it sort of moving. It's just a little bit just to get the trigger of the movement going back there. So just that sort of little bit of movement. Maybe a little bit too much there in that practice, but I don't mind you sort of rehearsing that more than we'd want to, which is fine. Just to get the feel of how you're moving off the golf ball hip. Once you get to about there, now you're going to start triggering that hip movement, okay, as you go round. So you're probably going a little bit far there, but again, trying to get the movement right, I don't mind that, okay? Get the feel of the hips just moving laterally to start with, and then when we get there now, there's a little bit of movement here. So if we go sort of halfway back with a takeaway there, look at the difference in the knee to kind of where you were there. So that knee looks a bit more kind of forward and bent. There's been a little bit of this way, yeah, and then it's going to trigger. Now, I would say the next stage going forward with this, once you've got this movement here now, so you've got a nice spine angle, that movement now to your left side where you sort of start moving, this movement now needs to be happening before the club starts coming down. You can sort of see your sort of, you're still kind of going here, here, and then trying to move. We've got to get a little bit of there and that. So almost the starting of the downswing is that sort of slight bouncing, falling, whatever you want to sort of think about it, okay? So we've got that sort of first move here now, moving off the golf ball, get into that top of the backswing with your spine angle. Before the club will start down, we want to get into that kind of just a little bit of a fall and a bounce, just a little bit of bump, just to trigger yourself. Because obviously as you start swinging the club down as fast as you are, especially with the longer clubs, where it's whizzing all the way down there, your body is going to be going in that direction as a result. So we need to get that movement to sort of counteract that. So when you come back to golf ball now, your head nicely sort of moves back a little bit as a result of that. You sort of falling backwards, okay? But in terms of the strike and the movement, you're getting a much better angles. The launch angle is the lowest you've seen it for a long, long time, if not ever. Yeah. So you're definitely getting into a better position. We're getting that hip movement nicely, okay? Just a sort of trigger to start there now. From about here now, this sort of range in the backswing, where the weight now is shifted onto that right side. Now we're going to just start falling. That movement here would be happening when the arm's about here. So again, you're miles away, but in reality, 17.1317 there. Yeah. And the downswing is like quarter of a second, maybe a third of a second. It's not miles out. It's just getting that feel. So the practice is going to be just a little bit of a movement off the golf ball, get the hips and then bump, get the hips and then bump. Yeah, just for that sort of bouncing into that front leg. So it's almost a gentle kind of fall in there, not here and then, and now trying to get back down. Because if you're trying to swing the club down, especially when that knee was in an awkward spot, you're going to struggle. With the shorter irons, as you'll see there, that's the impact we get on here. That's pretty good. That's we're getting that lean of the shaft there. Yeah. Just as the clubs get longer, that move's going to be more that way with the top half, which is going to cause you to pop up. And that's where some of the longer irons, hybrids maybe, and some funky longer shots, we get some missed shots, okay? So get that body moving just a little bit off the ball to start with. Just smidgen, just to sort of just trigger the backswing, okay? Once you get to about here now, there's quite a bit of weight onto that right side, 70-ish%. And then from there, the hips start doing what they're going to do nicely. We're getting that movement there now. It's now just sort of almost like you're just sort of falling down into that left side. Just bump. Exactly, yeah. But again, I would say at the moment, doing what you're doing here, this is one of the good shots you hit, to be fair. It went nicely. Yeah. So it's not a necessity to do it to hit shots good enough. Does that make sense? Yeah. So get this bit dialed in to the point where I can get that little bit of bump, get that little bit of hips movement, okay? So it just happens naturally, yeah? Because if you start trying to do that, then that, it'd be too much, yeah? So just to sort of, here you are, here's the movement we had to start with your hips. We've changed that, well, you've changed that. You're doing it a little bit too early. Just add a little bit of sort of a movement to get the trigger going. Now you're getting the hips moving as they need to move. Once this is sort of just dialed in now, then we can kind of get this sort of...
That'll be the next lesson.
Exactly, yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Keep looking as you go through when you're practicing stuff. Yeah, probably middle of December now, we'll look at that one, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, mate?
Lovely.
Very good.